My name's Ethan.
And my name's Pablo.
And in this podcast, you'll be able to hear how my grandparents described the Cold War.
The Cold War began in Europe after World War II. The Soviet Union won control of Eastern Europe. It controlled half of Germany and half of Germany's capital. The United States, Britain, and France controlled Western Germany and West Berlin. In June 1948, the Soviet Union blocked roads and railroads that led to West Berlin. The United States, Great Britain, and France flew in supplies. This was called the Berlin Airlift. The Cold War had many conflicts.
They tore the wall down, okay? And the reason they tore the wall down was the Russians finally listened to the rest of the world. But the Russians built the wall, which started the Cold War, because they got shortchanged, they thought, in World War II when the General Council divided up Germany and all the Germany property. So the Russians built a wall around Germany proper, East Germany, okay? So nobody could get out of Germany. There's a wall. So Roosevelt says, well, I'll show you. He took the 7th Air Force and he started a food supply.
How were you brought up and taught about communism?
Communism wasn't just Russia. It was a form of control in Europe. That's the way we were brought up.
What is communism? Communism is a political and economic government that aims to replace private property and a profit-based economy with public ownership and communal control of at least the major means of production and the natural resources of a society. Communism is also like a form of socialism, which is higher and more advanced form according to its advocates.
Why was Stalin's form of government and the way he controlled so bad in the time of the Cold War that made the United States so eager to help out their citizens?
What happened was Stalin went ahead and he made it a form of government permanent. And if you disagreed with it, you get shot. That was it.
As things intensified between the Soviet Union and the United States in the late 1940s and early 1950s, hysteria over the perceived threat posed by communists in the U.S. became known as the Red Scares.
How do the ideas and treatments of communists back in the time of the Cold War correlate to some current event and treatments towards groups of different ethnicities and races?
The Manhattan Project was the code name for the American-led effort to develop a functional atomic weapon during World War II. The controversial creation and eventual use of the atomic bomb engaged some of the world's leading scientific minds as well as the U.S. military, and most of the work was done in Los Alamos, New Mexico. not the Barrow of New York City, for which it was originally named. The Manhattan Project was started in response to fears that German scientists had been working on a weapon using nuclear technology since the 1930s. The response of the atomic weapon scared a lot of Americans and made people really insecure about the world they were living in.
Times when first atomic bomb was set off and you were you surprised? Did you know about it?
Oh, the first atomic bomb. Oh, yes, absolutely. Had no idea of what it would be like, if I had that thing. I didn't know anything about nuclear.
Were you scared?
That nuclear
Were you?
would. Oh, yes, devastated that it would, kill so many people, and the fear that it was going to advance. That they were going to improve on it and make it worse and everything. Yeah, pretty bad.
Dum dum, diddle dum dum, diddle dum.
Be ready for a new danger, the atomic bomb. First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you are not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face. Duck and cover underneath a table or desk or anything else.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We really hope you enjoyed listening to my grandparents speak about parts of their memories from the Cold War.